A walk on the E&N Railway's Port Alberni subdivision from Loon Lake Road to Lacey Lake Road. Here's the big location map for this video. Vancouver Island off the coast of British Columbia, and the little red mark is the rough area of my walk near the city of Port Alberni. Here's a map showing the E&N Railway's Port Alberni subdivision, which runs from Parksville on the right hand side of the map to Port Alberni on the bottom left hand rough side of the map. And I've marked it in orange so you can see the route, and here in the yellow circle is the rough area of my hike. Here's a close look at the area of my hike, starting at mile 22.2, which is Loon Lake Road, marked with that X. And my turnaround point is mile 25, also marked with an X in the top there. And along the way, I stopped at a number of points of interest. First one is here, which is the east approach to what used to be the mile 23.9 trestle. That was removed in 1971. I always like looking at old grades, places where the railway used to be but not any longer. And then I spent some time at the mile 25 trestle, and also just a little bit east of it there was a landslide that I took a little bit of time documenting how that will likely impact the railway grade. On my way back, I stopped there, which is the west approach to the mile 24.4 former trestle site. So there are two different former trestle sites that I visited on the approaches, and this one was great because I actually found some rail under a bunch of moss. And that's the whole extent of my hike, starting bottom right and finishing top, well, turning around at the top left and then going back all the way. Here's Loon Lake Road at 6:41 a.m. and I'll start my walk westward about mile 22.2 in the dark at the moment, but it's going to be lighting up and I'm going to enjoy this. This rock slide area here was cleared a bit by volunteers earlier, hikers, a couple years ago, and then now totally cleared out by the brushing crew. As I continue down the straight stretch around mile 22.6, something like that. I'll be at 23 soon. Some highway traffic there. Now I can see that I'm high above the highway. Highway is descending down into Port Alberni, and here I am arriving at mile 23. A bit more visible, not as visible as I had hoped with these trees here, but hey, it's better. That's 1 mile done on my morning hike out. It's a 3 mile out and back each way. This part was admittedly the most boring of the 3 miles. The next one will be much more interesting. Here about mile 23.5 or so, and with the brushing that's happened, it's pretty obvious now that I'm on a filled in trestle. There's the slope going down with all the fill. I can hear the creek. Continuing westward, nice straight stretch here, and then eventually I get to mile 23.9, which is where a trestle used to be up until the early 1970s. Then instead of rebuilding the trestle, they diverted the line. It's one of my favorite things on a railway, is diversion for something that used to be there. An old trestle site. And we've got open areas opened up, like right here.
areas where maintenance items used to be stored. And now it's visible once more. I have a nice photo stand here that's opened up for me because of the brushing work. This is mile 23.9, and where the curve is ahead to the right, the original line would have just gone straight a little bit to the left to go to a trestle. That's the one that was replaced in, I think, 1971. And the curve to the right is the diversion line, the new line.
Okay, here's the explanation for the line diversion at mile 23.9. A picture is better than a bunch of words. Here's the site from Google Maps. The poorly drawn red line is the current railway route around, and you can see what I described as a semicircle or just a little bit of a blip on the top. The white line is my guess at what the original pre-1971 route was, cutting across the ravine with a tall wooden trestle. And the yellow X is where I just was in the video and where I'm going to start this little bit of exploration from, where the white line and red line diverge. And the little yellow line is the extent of my bushwhacking and guessing in that area on the east approach to where the trestle used to be.
Okay, so straight through there is where the line used to go. I'm going to attempt to climb up the rocks right in the middle of the frame and see what that's like. Last time I was here in December 2020, that's what I had decided I should do on my next visit. It's always another time, and this is that time. Alright, that's looking railway east. Here's where I am on these rocks. Here's the current line. And that down through there, I'll just show you, we'll follow it. The railway would have gone down through here. And through there, just to the left of the mossy rocks, to the trestle, which is no longer there. I can hear the creek. Okay, now I'm down in the old grade, looking back towards the main line. I was just up on those rocks, and let's walk the direction of the old line here towards where the trestle was. I think I explored this a couple years ago, not really knowing what I was looking for, and it was also in late May, so the overgrowth was pretty bad. And I continue towards what will be the dead end where the grade went to the trestle, so it'll be a drop off, I think. Let's continue at the edge here. Somewhere through here, 50 years ago, was the trestle at the end of its life, then removed. So it would have gone across somewhere here. But I'm still just stubbornly exploring through here. 50 years of trees obscures where the trestle path was. So here's the drop off. So it would have gone across sort of like this. Through there is my speculation. I climbed up one more little hill to get a better look. Straight through there is where the trestle would have lifted off, gone across. And there's the main line, current. So that's where I'm getting to right now. Okay, walking in history here, somewhere in that area was the big trestle. Okay, let's continue the railway walk heading railway west around the tight semicircle. It's the new grade rock cut. Okay, let's go. This is either 4 Mile Creek or 5 Mile Creek. And the next one I get to, because there's a second similar trestle removal line diversion, then that's the other Mile Creek. So this X trestle diversion was mile 23.9. The next one I think is 24.2 or 24.4, something like that. We are just east of Stokes. Well, a little ways. We still have to come to mile 24 post. And that's looking down the ravine. Instead of a train whistle, I get the lovely springtime sound of birds in the early morning. This is beautiful. It's another maintenance stockpile area coming up to milepost 24, which is just at the corner ahead. Okay, I head west from mile 24. Mile 25 will be my turnaround point at the far end of that trestle. And this next mile is interesting for me. First of all, coming up immediately is the second of those trestle diversion routes. So I'll look forward to seeing what that looks like with better sight lines. Then, where the railway meets up with Lacey Lake Road, that's the site of Stokes, which was a siding, timetable, location, name. And then, after Stokes and that Lacey Lake Road, there's a level crossing of that road, which is a popular hiking area, and mountain bikers and side-by-sides and motorbikers go up that road up to the Alberni lookout. And then I've heard that somewhere around mile 24.8 or so is a recent landslide. So I want to see how that has impacted the line, and so I'll be able to see that. I look forward to documenting that. Hopefully it's not too bad, but we will see. It's just the nature of railway operations in mountain areas. Always something new happening, and you're always playing catch up. This here's the drop off, likely for the mile 24.2 or 24.4 old trestle site. Another one of those not rebuilt, and instead dismantled, and then the line moved. There's the current line. So that's where I am, walking in history. This is a good time to mention that I'm here on the Esquimalt and Nanaimo Railway's Port Alberni subdivision with the permission of the Island Corridor Foundation, the owner of the railway. I'm happy to be able to be here, and I'm very happy to be photo documenting the condition of the line, both for issues that accumulated in recent years as well as the impact of the recent brushing This is fabulous work. I like the sight lines. Alright, walking west, about mile 24.5 or so maybe. There's the power lines coming up from Lacey Lake Road. It's the current line. And that's my theory of the original line. Let's just walk in there and see if the sight lines make sense for this being the original railway line to that trestle. Well, the rock cut right here is a definite clue, and going right through there, yeah, that makes sense. We would have gone right through there. It's a bit of a rock wall in the way, but that would have just been dealing with some rock fall afterwards, I think. I think we went straight through there and then joined up. This part makes sense. I like it when history does that. Read about something, see some old photos, see it on a map, and then the sight lines, when you get there, line up and make sense in a general way. And here's where I come to Stokes. So up ahead on the right hand side is the Lacey Lake Road, logging road, and yeah, and just right in a few feet from me, I think is where Stokes siding started. Thanks Carl for telling me that on one of my previous videos. It's Lacey Lake Road. Goes down there to Coombs Country Candy Store on the east entrance to Port Alberni. I'm looking railway east at what used to be the Stokes siding. Lacey Lake Road goes up, and the Alberni Lookout is way up there. I'm going to see if there is a landslide problem between here and the trestle. So this intersection here, this level crossing, is a busy place on most weekend days with hikers. Okay, so the brushing has not continued here, so it went as far as Lacey Lake Road level crossing. So this is the same way this looked last time I was here in December. And by about the end of May, these broom plants have a lot of yellow flower on them. I found the landslide, and it's below the line, right here. With the culvert down below. And here's above. I'm assuming it's drainage related. And here we go. And all the way down there. So up here, does that mean there was a bunch of water? Probably. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, my challenge is to find a good photograph of this. So it's really close, the landslide really close to the rail. Looking for any evidence of cause. Okay, so there wasn't like logging done right down there. Okay, let me continue on to the mile 25 trestle. For all you technical people out there, it's actually at milepost 24.9 because that's where it starts going westward. We love the technicalities. I love that color of moss. And here we come, mile 25 trestle. I like it. I mean, it's not in great condition up top. It's in poor condition down below because of wooden mud sills instead of concrete foundations. But it's interesting looking trestle. The last time I was here on a hike in December 2020, this trestle was my focus, and specifically I went below and crossed from the far end to the near end, walking down below on the ground. And I'm not sure what I want to do today. I'm always intrigued by David Wilkie's hill up there where he used to take photographs from, but I'm not sure I have the energy and time for that today. So I'll figure out what I want to do. I just like being here. Okay, I'm going to try some video with my new phone camera. This is a Samsung Galaxy A51, which is an old camera to a lot of people. Old phone camera. To me, it's new. I'm always behind the times. I like that. So this one I like because it's got a nice wide angle lens on it. And so I can play around with that, and I've got it on full size here. I like it because I can see the end of the trestle and I can see where my feet are, like right there. This is actually a pretty good mode for walking across a railway trestle, I think. Again, the key things for me are I can see both sides, I can see the end with the sky at the end, as well as the problems right by my feet, right there. I'm working 3 cameras, well, not all at the same time. My big camera on a tripod for stills, and my little small camera with a strap around my neck that I use for video vlogging. And this is now my go-to when I need a wide angle. And I've been on the railway down that way, but I'm not going there today. Port Alberni. And one of my favorite views along the entire ENN, looking down right here. That's where my feet are. Hey, Port Alberni behind me. It's the mile 25 trestle. This new phone camera phone, is going to change my life. This is fun. What a beautiful day. Great day to be here. Here's the view westward at about mile 25. And I'm not going down that way today. I've done that once before. Went all the way to mile 28. But let's go back. So as you can see, the brushing work has not gone down this far. Here's the mile 25 trestle coming up. As I walk railway east. I just spent a nice hour break up there, enjoying myself. Looking down from there, back to here with a nice photograph. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to head back eastward across this trestle using my phone with a wide angle, and let's do this in one take and then I'll see what it's like speeding it up. Oh yeah. Okay, now let's play with looking down. That's looking railway west at Stokes. Here I am, railway east, the direction I'm walking. This is where the siding began, long removed. And my next step of interest is taking a look at what I think was the original alignment of the mile 24.4 trestle. The 4 Mile Creek trestle at mile 24.4 was replaced in 1971 by a diversion of the line. Here's the west side of where the trestle line used to be, arrow indicating roughly where the original line went. Here's the first map showing the blip, poorly drawn red line as the current railway alignment. Blip, the little semicircle, is hugging the wall of the mountainside instead of going across the ravine. That white line is my guess at what the original trestle route would have been across the ravine. And the yellow is the area that I explore in this video segment on the west approach to where the trestle used to be. Okay, so here's the rock cut on the right, which would be the original, and I'm going to go through there. Every time I come through here, I try to explore something a bit different, learn a bit more. But yeah, this has all the looks of rock cut, so the line would have been close to it there. We'll see. Would have gone through here. Okay. 1971. It's 2021. 50 years. Lots of trees. So through here is my hypothesis is that's where the trestle went. So let's climb up in the rocks and see what it looks like now. And really, it's just a bunch of rocks, maybe from where I just moved here after the rock cut was enlarged for the new line grade. That's my guess, what these rocks are that I'm standing on. Looking straight ahead is continuation of the original line, so I will go there. Some metal work. It's the metal spike on something. Metal spike. Okay, interesting. Here's some old rail just stored here. And yeah. So this is where, yeah, I'm fairly certain this is for the mile 24.4 trestle. If I'm saying the wrong mileage by a little bit, I'm sorry. There's some more rail. Just left here. Oh, you know what this is? This might be some switch stuff. So where I'm standing with rail on either side, rail here, and rail here, my guess is merges to some sort of a switch point. Sorry, moss. Oh no, it's just they're laid out like this right here. Oh, it's the old Jordan rail. It's the old Jordan rail for the trestle. That's what it is. He just laid it here because that's how a Jordan rail ends, right here with the curve going on down. That's what that would be. He just laid it right there. It goes all the way through there. Interesting. Wow. Well, I like it when I can figure things out. Bit of landscaping. Yeah, that is the end of the Jordan rail. Just laid out here. Under all that moss. Okay, the Jordan rail goes that way to that wall of rocks. And now let's continue on to what I believe would be the edge, west edge of the ravine, which is where the trestle started, mile 24.4. Through there is the current line. So we would have gone straight through here. Hugging the rock cut, I guess. I'll take the easier approach here. So this is where it would have gone across, down here. That's my guess. Straight down through here. It drops off rather rapidly down there, crosses the ravine. There's some posts there. I'll take a look at those in a sec. This could very well be the route. By the way, there's a bit of an anchor cable. There's a post, straight line down there, going across. That's my guess. 50 years of tree growth, but you can imagine a trestle going across right here. That post is one of the timber piles, I guess. Let's take a kick gently. Nice historical artifact. Yeah, that's what I think it is. And this cable just goes down, anchoring something. Wow, that's good. In an obvious rock cut, there's the side there. And then my theory is that on that side was just the rock cut was widened when they built the line revision here. Otherwise, this used to be a nice narrow rock cut right through here. Exciting. On the west side of the mile 24.4 trestle. One more thing. Here's a bridge timber. That's what it is, because it's really wide. It's obviously milled wood. It's not a log. And my theory is this is a timber from the bridge, or the trestle that was dismantled 50 years ago. It was just laid here 50 years ago and slowly rotting. Okay, looking railway west, but I'm going the other way, railway east. So yeah, the trestle went across the ravine. I'm going to curve around it. Hey, mile 24 coming up. On the tired walk back, the return leg is always a bit sore and tired, but fun. On my inbound walk this morning, I had a lot of fun in there on the right. I was looking for evidence of the trestle approach for the mile 23.9 trestle, so I came out there. It just looked like it could be it, but I didn't see any wood or rail. Not that I was expecting that, but I think I was pretty happy with concluding that's where the trestle used to go. And I'm in the new 1971 onwards rock cut here. Coming up to mile 23, and there's a grease box visible once again. Let's take a look at the label. Tamper, rail, and flange lubricator. Alright, 0.8 of a mile until I get to my car, which is good because I'm getting tired. It's not raining yet, but it's supposed to start raining in about an hour. This is the moment when I round the corner and I see Loon Lake Road, which was my starting point and will now be my ending point. So tired Mike is happy.